Now, it's moving forward very quickly, but how much time have we spent on project planning? How much time have we spent thinking about budgeting and government grants, thinking about your marketing plan, translation of your website? It's all preparatory work. Now, I happen to have received recently, because you asked me to go and determine which tie manufacturer could do the manufacturing for you. I'd sent them the specifications for the Corinne's Kitchen tubes. They had some queries, but they want the job. So they've sent the standard agreements to me. I'm not sure they exactly know the complete specifications. So I'm just going to repeat a few of them before I go into the comments about the actual agreement. I'm going to repeat a few of them because this whole agreement has got some things in it that we need to discuss. But I want to make sure that they and I and you have the same picture about what this product is. So correct if any of this is not right. You're sourcing nuts and fruit and herbs from Victoria, sending them by transport to Thailand.
Yeah, I've got some from South Australia.
Okay, fine. Secondly, we're going to go on to sourcing rice in a similar fashion, except it'll be from India.
That's correct.
Now, the rice is going also to Thailand to the same manufacturer.
Yes, they're packaging it for them.
Now, they're going to take the rice and the nuts and they're going to put it in these tubes so that the nuts component or the fruit component is in a little bag at the top, in a portion controlled bag, and the rice is at the bottom. Right, and that's important because of spoilation, or is it that the nuts are in their own vacuum package?
It's to conserve it.
Right, because nuts go off, don't they? Really badly. Which is why my son can't take peanut butter to school and all the rest of it. They can poison people.
That's correct.
Right, okay. So the tubes are made of paper, right?
Yes.
Right, so the thing is, the customer is going to take the tube off, take out the little satchel of nuts, put it into the pot, put the rice in the right portion, and follow the ingredients you've given them to create this fabulous recipe. Is that all correct? Okay, fine. Then the Thai guys understood what the product is, because, like specifications like architecture blueprints, and if we're going to put those with the contract, we want to make sure that the manufacturer is building to the spec, because very often these contracts, when you read them, they don't relate to anything terribly practical, but when the problem arises, everybody wants to know what happened, and there's words swimming on a page. So the draft contract that I've got from the Thai manufacturer has your specs at the back, but I want to now go through some of the issues that I see having looked at the agreement. The first issue is duration. They're happy to package that package for you, but they want you to use only them to manufacture, and they're saying for 5 years. How do you feel about that?
I need to know if they can handle the volume if I start growing, because I'm planning to increase, one country per year. So are they going to be able to handle the manufacturing as it grows if I'm stuck with them?
That's certainly a good question, and I think we'll have to build in a requirement that they be able to handle capacity, so that if they can't handle excessive capacity, then you would be able to get additional manufacturers. But then there's another question tied to the question of duration. They themselves want a minimum quantity of tubes that you want manufactured on a quarterly basis. They want 55,000 tubes.
To start with?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. But, again, it's a contract. It's just words on a page. It can be negotiated.
We need to change that.
What was your budget for? I mean, what was the quantities?
My budget's for about a quarter of that. And also, I really need to test the market. I don't want to have those quantities and I'm not sure I'm selling it. We need to send a lot of samples around the place to get everybody to test it and market it. I mean, what if it doesn't work? I might have to modify a little bit of the packaging.
They're a big manufacturer. This is the problem I have. I mean, I've picked one that has a very high reputation, and normally the clients I refer to them are people that have got established businesses. Corinne's Kitchen is a startup. We're going to have to work out this question of duration and quantity and their style. Maybe Vanessa's got some ideas about how to negotiate with people in Thailand.
With the Thai, doing business with the Thais, the relationship forms very slowly. Unfortunately, that's not going to do you any favours. This is where I think having an interpreter with you from their country will certainly speed up that process. Okay. One thing I do want to point out is I think it's essential also too that any contracts that you guys have, it's translated paragraph by paragraph in English and Thai, if that's what they speak. As I said earlier, there are a couple of different languages that they speak over there. So we need to establish who's looking at these contracts, what languages they need them translated into, and then it takes the cross fingers out of the business negotiation.
So they're going to be 2 contracts in 2 languages, the same one within between the time?
Either way, whatever way you wish to do it. I personally would think that you would have paragraph of paragraph, so in the Thai and then the English in those subclauses, all of that sort of stuff. So you're both signing off on exactly the same agreement.
But I'll be signing the English. I'm not sure what actually it says in Thai, and you're asking me to sign one that's also got the Thai on it, which I don't understand. So what if it's not totally precise? Or
this is where it's important to use an accredited interpreter and translator. They have to go through a rigorous 4-year process to get any accreditation, especially here in Australia. So you need to align yourself with a company that you can trust and form a relationship like you are with everyone else that you're dealing with in business, and make sure they have that accreditation. Also to have it double checked by another person as well. Okay, so I think it's more beneficial for you to have the Thai and the English version on those contracts because you're both signing off on exactly the same word for word content.
Well, that's going to cost me a lot of money again. Is there anything on that?
It's still covered under the export grant. We're still going. It sounds like it's getting fairly complex and you're not understanding, I guess, all the ins and outs. So what I've had the team pull up is one of our export manuals for you, which gives you a brief summary of what can and can't be claimed under the scheme. So you can actually look for yourself. And if you've got any questions anytime, just give us a call. But it goes through section by section the various eligibility criteria.
Wow. So I need to keep all the documentation. It's talking about financial, tax return, overseas presentation, marketing visits, communications, free samples, trade fairs, advertising, overseas buyer, intellectual property, and export earnings. All of that.
Yeah.
I need to document all of that.
The whole scheme is based on paper. If you kill enough trees, you get the money.
Okay, so I suppose my accountant is going to have to help me a lot with this.
Well, we'll help you with it. You don't need your accountant because he'll charge you. We won't.
Thank you, Bruce.
Corinne, I'd just like to point out too, a lot of businesses think that having an interpretation and a language service provider working with them is a luxury. It's actually quite cheap and quite cost effective. And if you get them in on the early stages, it's certainly going to stop a blowout later on with miscommunication. So I just wanted to make that clear to you. While you keep talking about the cost increasing, it's a small drop in the ocean compared to trying to fix something later on.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's absolutely right. You got to get it right to start with. Otherwise, it's going to be damage control, and I really don't want it to damage control wound.
You just want to stay in the kitchen and cook.
I want to keep cooking. I've got some ideas here. It's just great.
Fantastic.